Hello, and welcome to the Mentor-Teacher Orientation for Chapman University's Attallah College of Educational Studies for Fall 2021. This presentation applies to candidates who are completing student teaching this term for the MACI, SPED, and MAT pathways of our teacher education program. My name is Dr. Lori Hansen, and I'll be narrating this presentation. First, we want to thank you, mentor teachers, for hosting a candidate at your school site and in your classroom this term. We appreciate the support that you provide to candidates as they develop as teachers, and we are very grateful for what you do. This orientation will introduce you to our Chapman University Student Teaching Support Team, provide you with key dates, milestones, and the pacing of student teaching, share with you key training points we share with our teacher candidates, and inform you of the required assessment and feedback that we require regarding your mentee. First, I wanted to let you know that we do have a teacher education program handbook, and that handbook will be uploaded to the Mentor Teacher webpage on our university website. The information that I'll be going over today is included in more detail in this handbook. This is our student teaching support team. First, we have our Director of Teacher Education, Dr. Tricia Sugita, and as you can see, her email and phone number are there. My name again is Dr. Lori Hansen. I'm the Teacher Education Fieldwork and Assessment Manager, and you'll find my email and phone number as well. We also have an administrative coordinator, Zach Grayson, and he's the person, if you're not sure whom to contact, he's the person to contact. Candidates can ask him questions and he can direct them and you to the right person. And we also have a credential specialist, Robin Blauvelt-Wolf, and you can see her email and phone number there. She's the person that candidates would need to contact if they have a question about credential requirements and about applying for the credential. In my role as the Teacher Education Fieldwork and Assessment Manager, I'm the one who works with the districts to make the placements. So if candidates have a question about their placement, if they have a concern about the placement, then they should contact me first. So they can either call me or they can send me an email. The student teaching dates and attendance policy are as follows. The MACI candidates participate in 20 weeks of student teaching. So they started August 16th and they go through January 28th, 2022. Candidates who are in our special education and MAT pathways participate in 16 weeks of student teaching during the fall term from August 30th to December 17th, 2021. Candidates must be present for the entire contracted school hours, Monday to Friday. The maximum number of student teaching days allowed are 5 for MACI candidates and 4 for MAT or special ed candidates. The maximum absences for MACI candidates are 4, and for special ed and MAT candidates, 3. You'll notice the difference in these numbers, and that's because MACI candidates do 4 additional weeks of student teaching as compared with the SPED and MAT candidates. We tell candidates to treat these absences as you would a job. They need to notify you and their university supervisor as soon as possible if they're going to be late or absent to student teaching. This slide shows the student teaching pace. And the pace at which candidates take on responsibility should be mutually agreed upon by both the candidate and the mentor teacher. We would like to see the candidate teaching by no later than the 4th week. Multiple subject and special education candidates can take over morning routine and then one subject. Single subject candidates should start with 1 period and then move into taking on more periods when the mentor teacher and candidate deem it appropriate. In a traditional model, the candidates take over at least the last 5 weeks of student teaching. Single subject candidates will take over 3 periods, and multiple subject and special education candidates will take over the full day. Throughout student teaching, we expect the mentor teacher and candidates to use the co-teaching model and the various co-teaching strategies shown below. In the first 2 weeks, our candidates expect more observation time. So we thank you for guiding them out of observation into co-teaching. And so you can see by looking at these different strategies that right away candidates and mentor teachers can engage in one teach, one observe, for example. And as they get comfortable and as mutually agreed upon with the mentor teacher and the candidate, candidates can start taking on some of the other co-teaching strategies. The suggested co-teaching responsibility guidelines are as follows. So at the beginning of the term, the first 7 weeks, we expect the candidate to observe and take notes about what the mentor teacher and the students are doing. We expect them to circulate in class to provide individual assistance and answer student questions. We expect them to reinforce behavioral reminders and reinforcements only as appropriate with the mentor teacher guidance. We expect them to support instruction as the mentor teacher sees fit, including small group instruction, one-on-one instruction, and whole class instruction. Again, implementing the co-teaching model with, for example, the one teach, one assist strategy. We expect them to attend all professional development, grade level planning meetings, and other experiences that are related to their assignment. We expect them to remain in class throughout the entire school day. And finally, we expect them to implement instruction with specific guidance of the mentor teacher. During the first week of classes, we instruct our candidates to meet, plan, and take action. So first we want them to meet with their mentor teacher. We recommend that candidates find a time to meet with their mentor teacher, not during instructional time, to discuss placement and expectations. What kinds of things should they discuss with the mentor teacher? We want them to think about that. We want them to think about what questions they might have for the mentor teacher. And then we also want the candidate to plan with the mentor teacher. So when they meet with you, we recommend they clearly, you help them clearly spell out calendar expectations for at least the first 6 weeks of the term. What we tell our candidates to do when they take action during the first week of classes. First, we ask them to observe. The first few weeks, we tell candidates they may be mostly observing during instructional time. And so we want them to think about what kinds of specific things they might plan to observe during this time, so have sort of a focus for those observations, and then also think about how they will record their observations. We ask candidates to assist you. We want them to ask you how they might be most helpful. And we ask candidates to take initiative. If they're not feeling directed, they know that it's appropriate to ask in a professional manner if it would be okay to try, for example, working with a student. And candidates are never to be left alone with one student. If you're teaching online, they may go into a breakout room with 2 or more students, or they can participate in office hours with a minimum of 2 students. If you're in a face-to-face classroom situation, then we tell candidates they're never to be alone with the students, so there needs to be a credentialed teacher, you, with them in the room at all times. We also tell our candidates that every day is an interview, and so we impress upon them that timeliness is important. We expect them to be on time and stay until they're expected to leave. We warn them about social media in terms of posting pictures, so we tell them no pictures, videos of your students or the school. And we do share with them that candidates have been removed from placements and not hired because of their social media pages. So we ask them to go through their own social media accounts and remove things that may not be appropriate. And then we also tell them to think before they speak. So similar to what we tell TK to 12 students. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? Is it kind before they speak? Candidates are expected to dress professionally, and here are some examples of what that might look like. We tell candidates that they need to avoid being on their phone for any reason, while they are at the site for student teaching. If it's a family emergency and they need to have their phone out, they are to let you know in advance. They also should not be doing any type of homework or projects during student teaching time. They should be working with students. They should be taking notes as they observe you teach, etc. If they go off campus for lunch, they are not to have any alcoholic beverages or use drugs, etc. We also tell them not to criticize the teacher's practices openly or to others, and or gossip at all about the school, staff, administrators, fellow teachers, etc., parents, guardians, students. And we request that you please notify us if you have any concerns about the candidate at any point in the experience. So the university supervisor is the frontline person that we ask you to contact if there is a concern. And so if you share a concern with the university supervisor and the concern does not end up being addressed, then you would need to please contact me, the teacher education fieldwork and assessment manager, and then I'll support you and the candidate through a remediation process. I want you to discuss, please, with the candidates the best ways to implement a continuous feedback cycle using formal and informal evaluations. So for example, a 20-minute meeting once per week where the mentor teacher provides feedback and the candidate discusses progress toward goals. We also ask you to support the candidate's progress into teaching by providing guidance and feedback on their individual development plan that they take with them into induction. So as you know, this is a Commission on Teacher Credentialing requirement that candidates each have an IDP that they take with them when they receive their first teaching job and they begin to complete induction. So the IDP is something that they will start this fall term, and they will continue to work on it, and then at the end the supervisor will sign off on it, and so at the end of the term. So we ask you to please help them as they work through that and they add to that plan. And then candidates complete the following in partnership with mentor teachers. So this year we're piloting using Time to Track, which is an app where the candidates are going to record their fieldwork hours. And so they will log on to that app to complete their daily hours, to record those hours and activities, and then they will submit the hours to you on Fridays for approval. And so you should have already received an invitation to join Time to Track so that you can approve hours. Candidates have also received information about how to sign up for Time to Track and how to record their hours and activities, how to request approval, etc. And the university supervisors will also have access to the candidates' hours through Time to Track and be able to see if they are on track to complete the required CTC hours. And then again, in partnership with you and their university supervisor, they'll complete the individual development plan, the IDP. Mentor teachers complete formal assessments. And so this term you'll conduct a minimum of 2 formal evaluations, one at the midpoint and one at the end of the term. And these evaluations are based on the teaching performance expectations known as TPEs. And you will rate the candidate based on a performance competency using a rubric scale of 1 to 4. And I will be sending the email link to you with the evaluation when it's time to complete those evaluations. This is a sample of a TPE evaluation. In general education, there are 6 TPEs, and in special education, there are 13 TPEs, and you'll rate the candidate again at the midpoint and end of the term on those TPE subpoints and rate them on a scale of 1 to 4, or click on no observation if you have not had an opportunity to observe this. So please don't leave anything blank on this evaluation. And then the candidates on their end are expected to read and apply all the evaluation feedback, to understand all the evaluations and the TPEs, to consider all experiences as an opportunity to learn and grow, ask questions of you, take initiative and actively seek feedback, accept and consider critique and feedback, and then avoid being defensive or shutting out feedback. Take the time to consider all critique and suggestions from you as well as from their university supervisor, who will also be evaluating them. So if you have any questions about this presentation, about being a mentor teacher, about the fieldwork placement, please email me at lahanson@chapman.edu. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful week.